Oklahoma. Now, they opened their season last night up in Tempe and beat Arizona State by a final of 2-1. It was a pitcher's duel, and it took Kendall Wells, the freshman, to win it in the top of the 6th inning. A leadoff walk. She followed on the first pitch she saw with a 2-run home run, and the Sooners got the win by a final of 2-1. They did strike out 13 times last night. It's early. There's a lot of things going on early in the season, I think, Kenzie, that you're kind of feeling your way in. The Wildcats got to play 2 games yesterday. Run ruled twice, and so they feel very good about themselves. I think it was important for both teams to get a little footing before we play here today.
Yeah, no doubt, especially opening weekend. If you talk to the coaches, they don't even know their lineups, so they're shifting things game to game. But how about the start here for Caitlin Lowe in Arizona? Janae Berry, we did see her in relief yesterday in that game 2, the doubleheader versus Southern Utah. This is a new pitcher, a new face for the Wildcats this season.
And there's her first pitch in there for a strike. She did throw an inning in game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday against Southern Utah. Gave up just 1 hit. Arizona won both games by finals of 8-0. Abby Dayton at the plate, chops it over the mound, picked up by shortstop Beal. Goes to first base for the out. We've got 1 away.
Taylor Beal just so sure-handed for Arizona defensively. This is a little bit of a screw that had upspin, and you see Abby Dayton trying to put a bounce on the ball, but Taylor Beal is just so smooth.
So here's the aforementioned Kendall Wells, starting catcher, and what a way to get her career started last night with that game-winning home run. First one misses low for ball 1. Wells out of Bogart, Georgia. And if you think the home run last night was something new, it was not. In high school, she had 55 career home runs.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a player that Coach Gasso and Oklahoma fans have been waiting for her to finally get to college, just because of what kind of recruit she was in prep school and club ball. Has a big swing, and so you know that big swing is coming, and how do you counter that as a pitcher? You saw the change up there from Barry.
1 ball, 1 strike. Janae's next one. Caught that outside corner, and she gets a hit at 1-2. Janae, by the way, out of Queen Creek, Arizona. Transferred from Indiana. Her and Jalen Adams, 2 of the transfers out of the Big Ten, that will be making an impact for Arizona this season. Even up now at 2-2.
It's a great spot. Goes back to that off-speed pitch. Good take from Wells. And now if you're Wells, you've already seen that off-speed pitch twice in this at-bat. You're sitting on 1 speed. Even though there is 2 strikes, you're feeling much more comfortable.
2-2. And that's lined out to left field for a base hit. So the Sooners get a 1-out single, and that'll bring up Ella Parker, their right fielder.
So Barry does go back to the changeup. You could see how it drifted back towards the inner half of the plate. Sydney Stewart, the catcher, was set up on the outer half. Off the end of the bat, but so much power. Out on the front leg, that's a great look. Hand stayed back. A single for the Sooners.
So Ella Parker, junior out of Los Angeles, to the plate with a runner at first and 1 away. No score here, top of the first inning. And the first pitch, this is high from Barry. Parker, we're talking about the fact that last night, Oklahoma struck out 13 times in the win over Arizona State. Parker had 3 of those. And takes one outside, although if you look at her career, she is one of the tougher ones to strike out for Oklahoma. First team All-American last year. 2-0 the count. And Janae in there for a strike.
And you think about so many different people to talk about in this lineup for Oklahoma, but if you're going to talk about one, Ella Parker is that one. She has been that girl for Oklahoma the last couple of seasons, now in her junior year.
Next one, check swing, called a strike. Janae Berry gets even now at 2-2. Runner at first with 1 away for Oklahoma. Top of the first, just underway, first of 3 games between these 2 storied programs. Berry's next one, swing and a miss. Gets her first strikeout. And there's 2 down here in the first.
so confident in that changeup early. Threw multiple off speeds to Ella and has to kind of expand her zone a little bit with 2 strikes, still out on that front foot, but that pitch is locked in right now for Janae Berry in the circle.
So 2-away runner at first for Oklahoma. That'll bring up the number 4 hitter as Berry goes to work here. This pitch misses outside. This is Nellie McEnroe Marinas, a Hawaii native. Another first-team All-SEC member from last year when she hit .339. Next one, swing and a miss. Nellie 1 for 2 last night up at Arizona State with a walk and a strikeout. Redshirt sophomore. Was going to play in 2024, got hurt early, sat out as a redshirt, and then regular last season. Here's a fly to right, and that's going to be over the wall for a home run. And the Sooners out in front. 2-0. Oklahoma. Nellie McEnroe Marinas hit 15 home runs last year. That's her first of 2025.
And you just look at the pitch location. You can see where Sydney Stewart, she's set up on the outer half. The pitch is really center cut. Just a beautiful swing here from McEnroe Marinas, showcasing the power. Line drive, it was not whether it was hit hard enough. It was clearly hit hard enough. It was just whether it was going to be up enough to get out of here, and it does.
So 2-0 with 2 out here in the top of the first inning. Cassidy Pickering to the plate for Oklahoma. Janae Berry set for the windup out of the circle and delivers high for ball 1. Pickering Jr. from Humble, Texas. All-American last year. He's been a full-time starter for the first 2 years at Oklahoma. Takes the ball, it's 2-0. Pickering hit .292 last season, 18 home runs, 57 RBI, slugged over 800. And there's a fly ball to left, and that's fairly deep, and that one's going to be gone. 3-0 Oklahoma. Back-to-back home runs for the Sooners. Well, this is a team, as you mentioned, Kenzie, that has a lot of pop in its lineup. They only had 2 runs last night. They got 3 already here today in their first at-bat.
Neither home run on a changeup, so both on the hard stuff from Janae Berry, and she was really dialing up that changeup so well. Had the Oklahoma hitters out in front, and so credit the Sooners. They're recognizing the speed that they want. And it's a curveball to McEnroe Marinas, and then to Pickering, that looked like it should have been a screwball, but it just didn't have the movement that maybe it should have.
31st career home run for Cassidy Pickering. So 3-0 Oklahoma. Sydney Barker will come to the plate now. Plays first base for the Sooners. Bases are now clear. Oklahoma will be here for a couple more days. They go over to Las Cruces. Playing a tournament there, back home, and then back to California for another tournament, which is kind of the name of the game early on for teams like Oklahoma. Want to find some good weather.
I believe they had an ice storm in Norman last week, so I'm sure they're welcoming the sunny and 75-degree weather that we're having out here in Tucson.
Absolutely. 1-0 pitch. Up high 2-0. Well, last year they opened the season, Oklahoma did, in Southern California. Won a couple games in San Diego. Went up to Fullerton for 2. Won a game at Loyola Marymount. Won a game at Long Beach State. Went on to Waco, Texas later to win 3. So, yeah, just staying in warm weather early on. As they strike, and the count goes to 2-1. And Oklahoma, a great start last year. I mean, they won all those games I mentioned, and they started 27-0. Didn't lose a game until March 22nd of last season. Check swing, and she went around.
There's that off-speed pitch. If I'm Berry, I'm going right back to it. You have a ball to play with a 2-2 count, so if you're going to go down, maybe a little bit more down.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Base is empty. And there's the end of the inning on a strikeout, the second of the day for Janae Berry. So 3 runs on 3 hits. Nobody left.
And This is the team that led the SEC in home runs a season ago, and they're getting it started here in the first inning with McEnroe Marinas and Pickery getting it going.
Arizona dugout gonna see what her bats can do here, and do we sing happy birthday to Caitlin?
It is Caitlin Lowe's birthday. It's also my mom's birthday, so I'll just take this time to shout out my mom. It's also her birthday.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, the Wildcats will lead it off here with Reagan Shockey. And they'll face, again, Kirsten Deal. Last year, appeared in 25 games, 16 starts for the Sooners. Oh, check that. Okay, thank you. First pitch here.
A little lineup switch, yeah.
So they've gone with Alyssa Parker now, starting in the circle. We'll tell you about her, but meanwhile, her first pitch misses for ball one to Reagan Shockey. Next one is a chopper to the left side, and no play. It makes the catch off the bounce, but no reason to throw because Shockey was easily going to beat it out for a single.
Oklahoma with the shift defensively, but Gabby Garcia catching it, nothing you can do. That's exactly what Reagan Shockey likes to do with her game. Just put it on the infield, get that high hop. But yeah, Brian, our lineup, we had Kirsten Deal slotted in our lineup, and so just a last minute change, looking up saying that's not Kirsten Deal, that is Alyssa Parker. So big start for the freshman.
So here's Parker's pitch to Wildcats' number 2 hitter here today. Serenity Trice, sophomore out of San Diego. And boy, did she put on a show yesterday. Second one misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trice yesterday, 5 hits and 7 at-bats. In game 1 against Southern Utah, a double and a triple. Stole a base in game 2. Next one. And looking to bunt fouls it.
You think about what Arizona was able to do offensively yesterday, 2 run rules, and it's really interesting because it was without the big power of Sydney Stewart, Grace Jenkins. Those players are the hitters that you kind of expect to maybe be a part of a game that's an 8-run run rule, but it was the short game, the slappers.
1-2 is a bouncer left side. The throw to second, not in time. And so the Wildcats will have 2 on here with nobody out. You slap that one in the dirt and it does some good things for you.
And Serenity Trice is a new hitter for Arizona in the lineup, a transfer from Iowa State a season ago, who was the leadoff for Iowa State for the majority of the season. So she's very comfortable at the top of the lineup, and I love the fact that Reagan Shockey and Serenity Trice get to bat around each other and almost feed off of each other as well.
So here's Sydney Stewart to the plate for Arizona, and she takes a strike. Stewart batting third, 2 on, nobody out. Oklahoma leading 3-0 here. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Game 1 of the Candrea Classic. High pop-up, foul territory left side, but that's going to drift out of play. And count will go to 1-1. So Sydney Stewart, 1 for 4 yesterday in the doubleheader, walked a couple times. Pick up an RBI. First team All Big 12 last year, second team All American when she hit 374. Arizona in home runs and RBI. 1-1 pitch to her outside. Grace Jenkins on deck for Arizona. We're in the bottom of the first. Wildcats trying to answer here. Another one low and away.
I love both of those spots though from Parker. You get ahead 0-2. Those are competitive, good intentioned pitches. It's just a senior in the circle, or senior in the box rather. Very patient.
I think they had the count incorrect on the scoreboard, so that becomes ball 3 now. So full count at 3-2. And the payoff. Fouled off. Lane's full at 3-2. Well, I mean, we're just getting started, but you know, if Arizona could, you know, get on the board here, that'll be a.
And it's a huge opportunity. What a bounce back in the bottom half of the inning after falling behind in the top 3-0.
Another payoff pitch coming. Sydney Stewart, and it's taken high, ball 4, and that'll load the bases. So Alyssa Parker, Oklahoma native freshman, the school player of the year last year in Oklahoma. And both pitchers off to a little shaky start here, although for the Sooners, they've got a 3-0 lead.
Just think about the matchup. These are both underclassmen, a sophomore transfer on Arizona side for Janae Berry, and a true freshman for the Sooners, and a true freshman battery. Kendall Wells behind the plate talking to her freshman in the circle, just taking a second, taking a moment. It's just such good experience that you want early in the season. You want opening weekend.
Grace Jenkins to the plate for Arizona, takes one outside. Jenkins, senior out of Folsom, California, another one of the transfers. Came in from UConn, where she hit .424 last year. 1-0 pitch. Stop high, 2-0.
I haven't seen an off speed from Parker yet. Everything's been one speed, been working a screw, been working her rise. So if you're Grace Jenkins, 2-0 count, big swing here, looking for one speed.
Pitch, called a strike. And it goes to 2-1 now. Grace Jenkins again. Arizona bases loaded. Reagan Shockey at third. Serenity Trice at second. Sydney Stewart at first base. Nobody out. Parker delivers. Fouled off. That will get out of play.
It's a great job by Parker to get back in the count.
.77 degrees at first pitch today. And nary a breath of wind. 2-2 to the plate. Ground ball to the right side. The throw will go to first. That's the only out the Sooners will get. Arizona will score a run. It's now 3-1 in favor of Oklahoma. Grace Jenkins picks up the RBI.
This is kind of one of those plays where it's kind of good for everyone. Good execution for Arizona. Get a run across Oklahoma, needing an out defensively. They get it. I'm telling you, that was a great job by Parker. She fell behind 2-0, came all the way back, got an out to the number 4 batter for Arizona.
So here's Taylor Beal to the plate now. Runners at second and third, one away. And the pitch, all the strike. Parker gets ahead, 0-1. Trice at third, Stewart at second. Shockey came in to score. Now the 0-1. And a check swing foul ball to the screen. And it's 0-2.
I think this is the highest in the lineup I've ever seen Taylor Beal be slotted offensively. Kind of a hitter that's usually down in the 7-8 hole. Had a good day yesterday. Gets bumped up to the 5 spot.
Single and a double in game 1 yesterday.
Yeah.
And the pitch low and away.
And also it's just that senior presence that I think, you know, a coach likes. Top of the lineup. I like the fact that you have Stewart, Jenkins, and then Beal. Those are 3 seniors in a row.
Beal out of Folsom, California. 1-2 to the plate. Little tapper back to the circle. They'll go home for the out. Second out of the inning. The fielder's choice for Beal. Trice out at the plate, and Stewart will advance to third.
Serenity Trice, this is one of those things with her speed. She's talking to the third base coach, Lauren Lappin, where you are going on down angle no matter what. And if you want the defense to make a play, you want them to make an out at home plate. That was great execution by the freshman battery for Oklahoma.
All right, now it's up to Jenna Sniffen. And the first pitch to her. This is for ball 1. Sniffen home run in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday. Next offering, and gets away from Wells to the backstop. In to score will come Sydney Stewart. And it's a 3-2 ball game in favor of Oklahoma.
Curveball just getting away a little bit from Kendall Wells, who has that right knee down. She's going to want that one back for sure.
Beal advances to second. Here's the 2-0 to the plate. And that is called a strike. 2-1 now on Sniffen. So Arizona, after falling behind 3-0, has scored twice, tying run at second with 2 away. 2-1 pitch coming to Sniffen, and here it is. A little tapper out to the circle. It's picked up by Parker. She'll throw to first for the out, and the inning is over. Arizona scores 2 runs on a couple of hits, 1 left. We've finished an inning, 3-2 Oklahoma. Move on now to inning number 2 in the bottom 3 in the Sooners order to face Janae Berry. And that will start out with Gabby Garcia, the shortstop. Well, both these teams ranked in the top 25 going in, and both figured a challenge for conference championships. Arizona in the Big 12 and Oklahoma in the SEC. First pitch to Garcia, called strike 1.
I guarantee you, if you ask either Coach Gasso or Coach Lowe if they want this kind of test, not only just in the weekend, but in the first inning, like wake your team up, number 1, but you cannot practice these type of moments.
Next one to Garcia. That's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Gabby Garcia, who's from Chandler, went to Basha High School, and obviously probably special for her last night. Up in Tempe. Her mom was a All-American softball player at ASU.
Yeah.
She didn't have a great game at the plate. Went 0 for 3 and struck out twice. But coming off an outstanding season, and she is a preseason All-American this year. Hit .351 last season as a freshman. Hits this one in the air towards center, and that's going to be over the wall. Be the 3rd home run of the day for Oklahoma. So Garcia, who hit 20 last season, it's her first of 2025, and well, at least we're off to a pretty fast start here.
Yeah, it's just the location for me. The pitch speed is great. You could see the movement, but it's just where it was located. Just 2 center cut. You want that off-speed pitch to make sure it's hitting a corner. But Garcia staying back in her legs, so much power, that young sophomore, showing us why she was an All-American a season ago.
All right, well, we will have a meeting at the circle here, and it's been a tough start here for Janae Berry. She gave up 2 home runs, back-to-back home runs in the first inning. Now a leadoff home run here in the top of the second. And we'll see what the decision is, and it looks like she's going to head to the dugout. We knew we were going to see some pitching changes today, so no big surprise. And Jalen Adams, who we talked about earlier, had the no-hitter yesterday. She'll come on now.
Yeah, this is one of the aces that I think Coach Lowe will be looking to carry a heavy load, a bigger load this season. And so maybe a little bit surprised she didn't get the start, because this is what she was able to do yesterday. Of course, only 53 pitches, so you know she's still fresh. And it's just good to kind of get that first touch point. You've got a new team, it's opening day, and she delivered. Only had the 1 hit by pitch, but the rest she was flawless.
Senior out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, and played for the Hawkeyes for 3 seasons. And last season, went 25-6, 11-3 in Big Ten play, and Caitlin Lowe able to pick her up out of the portal. And with and these days, of course, when you need pitching, you go to the portal and find some experience. We saw Janae Berry, of course, out of Indiana, and now Jalen Adams from Iowa. Mentioned her no yesterday in the run rule game. She threw a no-no. Her first no-no came when she was at Iowa against Michigan State back a couple years ago, March of 2024. And so very impressive yesterday. This is going to be, obviously the competition level has picked up a bit today. And so she'll be tested a little more, but boy, she looked good yesterday.
A lot of backdoor curve, likes to work arm side, will also run that curve away. So spins the ball predominantly up. Didn't see a ton of off speed from her yesterday, although it's one of those things where maybe she didn't even need that pitch because of how she was just cruising.
So Alyssa Parker, who started in the circle for Oklahoma, will bat here. And the first pitch to her is inside.
How about a pitcher that swings a bat? This is a total athlete preseason freshman watch list. Was the Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year.
Adams' second pitch in there for a strike, even now at 1 ball and 1 strike. great crowd on hand. If there are any empty seats, there aren't many.
Great crowd.
Well, gorgeous day, and again, Hillenbrand always the place to be in the spring. 1-1 pitch, called strike. Got that outside corner.
That's one of the best things about when you play for Arizona. You get to host a lot of teams, host a lot of tournaments. Nice look here with that curveball on the outside part of the plate. But yeah, you don't have to travel this time of year, sleep in your own bed.
Next one fouled off.
We're talking about how Oklahoma's having to hit the road quite a bit this month.
And then Arizona is here, of course. 2 more games with the Sooners tomorrow and Sunday, and then Drake will be in town on Thursday. One and 2 on Alyssa Parker. Next pitch hit in the air to right field, and that one is fairly deep, and that is a home run. And wow, I tell you what, the Sooners who hit 1 home run last night against Arizona State, that's all they needed to win the game. And they've hit 4 now. In fact, 4 of the past 5 batters have cleared the wall here at Hillenbrand. So Parker's first home run in her first season in a Sooner uniform.
I was going to say the 3 home runs prior to this were kind of the usual suspects for Oklahoma. So how about the first one for the rookie? That's got to feel so good. Someone go get that ball for her. That was one heck of a swing. And talk about an athlete getting the start in the circle. And then, of course, swinging a big bat down in that 8-hole. Big time.
Lana Agbanali is at the plate. And she'll take one up high. Senior, transfer out of BYU. Second year now at Oklahoma. She played a couple years at BYU. Batted .314 a year ago. Bounces one to the right side. Tough short hop by Trison. She'll win the race to the bag. And there's one away.
That was such a smart play from Serenity Trice. We've been talking a lot about her offense and the speed that she brings when she's in the box, but watch this defensive play. She fielded on the short hop and thought she was going to lead her teammate to first base, but knowing her speed, there was a sense of urgency there. I can beat to the base and I can get this out, and she did just that.
So one away, base is empty. Here's Abby Dayton for her second time up, and first time it's Jalen Adams, and she'll take strike 1. Dayton rounded out in her first at-bat to lead off the ball game today. Senior out of Riverside, California. Another transfer, played a couple years at Utah. Adams' next pitch. Cross for a strike, it's 0-2.
And really, this is the only short gamer in the lineup for Oklahoma. Really a triple threat, can swing away if she needs to, can also drop a drag.
Adams 0-2, and that's lined to left for a base hit. So one out, runner on first base for Abby Dayton. Kendall Wells will come to the plate. That is now 6 hits here for the Sooners as we play in the top of the second inning. Wells, who singled last inning and later scored the first run of the ball game. Came on home on the home run batter later. So runner at first. Pitch, slap foul left side for strike 1.
I always look at opening day lineups just to see if there's anything that stands out to me. And I was looking at the opening day lineup for Patty Gasso in Oklahoma yesterday, and she had Kendall Wells slotted in that 3-hole.
And she hits one in the air to left center field. And to make the call on it is Shockey, and she'll make the catch, and there's 2 down.
Of course, gets moved up to the 2-hole after hitting that big 2-run home run, but that always just says so much from a coach and what kind of things that a coach is expecting from a freshman. When you are slotted in that opening day lineup, kind of put a little asterisk around that and a little exclamation point, because that tells me Kendall Wells is going to have one heck of a career.
So here's Ella Parker to the plate now with 2 out. Runner at first base, and she lines one up the middle, base hit into center field. Holding at second will be Dayton, so 2 on And 2 out here in the top of the second for Oklahoma.
The swings from Oklahoma right now, to me, are just so short and simple. Getting to contact, hitting it where it's pitched. There's been a couple of missed spots from the Arizona pitching staff, but Oklahoma has been on time. They've been ready. And you also have to think about who Oklahoma faced last night in Kenzie Brown, All-American. Maybe one of those things where you wake up after, I know they won the game, but this is a team that knows how to hit, and you wake up and you're like, man, we didn't swing it the way we know we are capable of swinging it. What's new about today? New day, new opportunity. Let's get ready to go.
All right, brief meeting in the circle, and now we'll see Nellie McEnroe-Marinas, who got things started for the Sooners last inning with a 2-run home run, put him on the board. Cassidy Pickering followed with a home run, so it was 3-0 Sooners in their first at-bat. Arizona answered with 2, and now Oklahoma's come back with a couple, again, back-to-back home runs here in the second. First one from Jalen Adams. This is for ball 1. McEnroe-Marinas at a Marino High School in Hawaii, and the pitch to her is up high. She drove in 48 runs last year. Was a starter for Oklahoma. Most of their position players back from a year ago. 2-0 to the plate. Going inside. Adams gets behind 3-0. And Cassidy Pickering, who homered earlier last inning, is on deck for Oklahoma. Adams 3-0 to the plate, and that is a strike. Now goes to 3-1.
I haven't seen a ton of off speed from Adams. Everything has kind of been a lot of that curveball side to side, working east and west.
Pitch fouled off right side.
She likes to go to that backdoor curve. That one had a little bit of an uptail. Of course, a good look at this swing from Nellie in the first inning off of Janae Berry. Just a line drive. I almost thought she hit it too well. I thought it was going to go off the wall because it looked just such a line drive swing. A ton of power.
Payoff pitch from Adams, and that missed low and inside, so the bases will be loaded here with 2 out. Abby Dayton moves to third, and Ella Parker to second. First base now, McEnroe-Marinas, and to the plate, Cassidy Pickering. Again, she solo home run last inning. Adams delivers, in there for strike 1. Well, Oklahoma bringing the big bats today. 4 home runs, and we're not quite through the top of the second. Which misses up high. Keep in mind, this is a team that hit 121 homers last year. And with most of that power back, nobody's going to be surprised if they approach that number again. Pitch popped up back of the plate. That'll get out of play.
Yeah, I think this is the most powerful offense going into the 2026 season, just because of everyone that they return. Another look at the swing from Cassidy Pickering, who was a first-team All-American a season ago, who's batting in the 5-hole.
Sooners hit .330 as a team last year. Here's the pitch outside. Even up now at 2-2. Well, you know, look at the fact that, Oklahoma was second in the nation in home runs, second in on-base percentage, third in slugging percentage last year, and that's why they averaged over 7 runs a game. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Adams, nice job getting out of that. And will leave the bases loaded. 1 between Arizona and Oklahoma. 5-2 favor the Sooners. The Wildcats coming up to play for the second time today. It is the Candrea Classic. And quite naturally, we should be joined by the Hall of Fame coach, Mike Candrea. Mike, welcome. And by the way, Kenzie graded your form on that first pitch, and she said you passed with flying colors.
I just wanted it somewhere in the zone that they could catch. So
Your best pitch is your screwball. I will say that, right?
yeah,
You got a little tail.
Naturally, yes.
Yes, you always throw his BP once a year. It was a big occasion when you did, and I think you bragged about yourself when you did as well. But you did throw strikes.
That was that Tommy John surgery.
Keselowski leading off for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the second inning, and she bats seventh in the lineup. Alyssa Parker delivers, and it's fouled off left side. Well, Mike, of course, I don't like to say, because you're kind of semi-retired. I know you're still involved. You want to be involved, and it's great that you're involved. But what's it like coming out here, not being in the dugout?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. You know, I must say it's sometimes you're kind of twiddling your thumbs, wondering what you're supposed to be doing. But hey, I just enjoy the game, enjoy the growth that this game has had over the years, and I think Caitlin's done a great job, and they're fun to watch. And they're a little bit young, but you know what? That's why we play these games right now. So I think long term, I feel very good about this group, and looking for some big things.
You've known Patty Gasso for a long time, the head coach at Oklahoma. Do you remember the first time you two either met or faced off each other on the diamond?
Well, you know, I remember her when she was still in junior college, but when she first got to Oklahoma, we played quite a few times, and we were just talking after my pitch. You know, she said, you know, I remember the first 7 times we faced you that we got beat pretty bad, and she goes, I realized that I was playing with girls and you were playing with women. And it kind of helped her grow up a little bit. But you know, she's done a phenomenal job at Oklahoma, and really this team has it going right now, and someone's going to have to get hot to beat them.
Does it feel like you've been retired 5 years?
You know, it doesn't. Time's flying. You know, there's a lot of things I can't believe, you know, but definitely 5 years has gone by very quickly, and to sit here and say that I'm 70 years old is really frightening because I don't feel it, you know, but time is gone. And, you know, I cherish my moments here and enjoy still today getting a chance to be involved with our coaches and doing what I can to help them. So it's keeping me busy enough, but yet I'm still able to play a little golf and try to play that game a little bit.
Lucas taps out for the first out of the inning for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the second inning. And that should bring up Emma Kavanaugh here. 5-2 favor of Oklahoma. We talked about how the game has grown, Mike, and of course you've seen it grow so much. And you know, there are teams, and Oklahoma is probably a good example. We could name a bunch of them that you know, softball was foreign to them, not 30 years ago, and now you see so much now, so many teams that have not only improved on the field but facilities, etc. I mean, you've seen it grow to this point. What's next for college softball?
Well, that's a good question, Brian. I think hopefully we can get the pro league with some stability so that these young ladies could continue to play the game. But you know, I look back at the game, and it's like when I first got into it, it was the golden standard was UCLA, and very dominant during that time. And then Arizona had a really good run in the 90s, and you know, lately it's been Oklahoma. So the game is growing, and I think I always go back to the involvement with ESPN and the eyeballs that they've been able to put on the game. But I also think that when we were in the 96 Olympic Games, I always go back to that. It seems like that was kind of the shot in the arm that we needed to get the game going.
Emma Kavanaugh with a long single off the base of the wall. So Arizona with a runner at first with 1 away. And that'll bring up the 9-hitter, Addison Duke. And she will take ball 1. I got to ask you this, and I think we've talked about it through all the sports. You miss the Pac-12?
I do. I got to be honest with you. It is really strange that we're not in the Pac-12. And sometimes I wake up going, you know, is this a dream? What happened?
Well, all your polos are probably outdated, right?
I still have them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm wondering if we asked Patty Gasso, do they miss the Big 12? I mean, because Oklahoma's made a move as well.
Sure.
It's just part of the landscape of college athletics right now. For the moment, it seems to have settled down, but who knows what the future has to hold.
Well, I hope we can say it's settled down, but I really don't think so. I think there's a lot ahead of us that is still going to, yeah, it is. It's a storm right now. And, you know, I go back really for softball. It was when the SEC got involved in the game. It really grew the game from coast to coast. They were putting money from their football programs into their facilities and, you know, recruiting good coaches and good players. And at one time, all I had to worry about was the West Coast and keeping them either here or UCLA. But, you know, when they came in, it just ballooned the game to the parity from coast to coast was unbelievable.
Is there something that maybe you miss, you know, about the day-to-day, not the obvious things like the wins and the celebration, but do you miss anything like the day-to-day of being a coach?
You know what I miss more than anything, Kinsey?
I'm going to guess. Can I take a guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hitting BP? No. Or hitting ground balls? Yeah.
Practice.
Practice,
you know,
okay.
I love practice. I love hitting fungos. I love the competition. I love what it was like and what it felt like when you won a big weekend. Yeah. That ride home was always good. But yeah, it's, you know, I had my moment and very blessed to be able to do it for a lot of years. And now it's time to be a spectator and support.
Does it, do you have to pinch yourself a little bit ever when you see your name up on Giddings building there? A little bit?
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah. And you have a tournament now named after you as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I look, every time I come here, I kind of think back when the home plate was out where the cars are right now.
I was going to say, paint the picture for us. Where was the OG field?
That was it. I mean, home plate was back in that corner. We were hitting this way with a snow fence. The only thing that was really significant was the fraternity in right field.
Okay.
And I used to buy them beverages every time we played UCLA so they'd get on the right fielder. And we did seat, capacity was about 250, you know, and most of those were parents. And then when Bill Hillenbrand came in and said, I wanted to help you, and I said, well, what do you want? He goes, what do you think? And I showed him a napkin of a stadium that I had drawn coming back from Oklahoma City. And I go, that's what I want. I think that if we build it, people will come. I think this sport is going to explode. And so then we built our first Hillenbrand Stadium. And it served us very, very well. And then finally, when Dave Hickey was here and had a vision to upgrade and build this place, I'm just thankful that we were able to do that now.
Kirsten Deal coming on to pitch here for Oklahoma, and she will face the top of the Arizona order and Reagan Shockey. Mike, let's take us away from college softball for a moment, because you've been heavily involved in international play as well. And so you talked about the growth of American college softball. What's it look like on the other side of the pond?
Well, you know, we're fighting like hell to keep in the Olympic Games and get back on the program permanently. I don't know if that will ever happen. It may take a while, but at least LA, we're going to be there. And then the following Olympic Games will be in Australia. So we have two that kind of keep softball in their forefront, so we feel pretty good about that. But you know, the growth really, if I look back, I mean, I've spent 4 summers in Italy, got a chance to watch the European game, and you know, there's a lot of growth going on there. It's just not enough, and I think that's kind of been our biggest challenge, is getting to grow the sport worldwide. And I think we're getting closer, but we're not quite there yet.
All right, an error keeps the inning alive for Arizona here. And the first pitch out to Trice is hit to left for a base hit and around third and in to score. And Arizona on the board again here in the bottom of the second inning.
Nice response from the top of the lineup. Coach, talk about these two slap hitters. They remind me so much of Caitlin Lowe and Autumn Champion. What do you think?
Outstanding. Yes, exactly. Both of them handled the bat very well, you know, tremendous speed, and really good base runners. And so, yeah, they've got to set the table. If we're going to be successful this year, you got to see them on base as much as possible. And so far, I'm in love with both of them. They're really, really good at what they do.
Serenity drives in the run as Addison Duke scores, and then Reagan Shockey will go to second on the play. So First and second now with 2 out. It's a 5-3 Oklahoma lead. And we're going to have another switch here for the Sooners. But we've got a lot of offense early on here. And you never know, Mike. I mean, early in a season, it's so unpredictable. You've been through this many times before that you really don't. I mean, up in Tempe last night, you know, Oklahoma gets a big hit, a home run to win a game up there. You know, Arizona gets great pitching yesterday here to sweep too, but it seems so early in the season to make any judgments.
Yeah, and sometimes I wish I could dial the elevation down a little bit. The ball's just, it's jumping out of here pretty good today. Pretty good conditions, but Oklahoma is a very good hitting team and has always been the last, you know, 5-6 years. And so you have to, I mean, our pitchers have to have a little deception. I just don't think we can sit there and throw one speed and expect to have a lot of success. So, you know, but it's the one thing you can't teach is experience. And I think that's what's so good about this weekend is that we're playing, and these kids are going to get an idea of what it's going to take to be successful. And I think it'll serve us well throughout the season.
Well, I think if you ask Patty as well, she wants her freshmen in the circle to deal with this type of adversity, if you want to call it, but a situation with a hostile crowd and, you know, the moment is tense because it's going to be like that every single weekend in the SEC. Quick test.
Sydney Stewart at the plate for Arizona right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. And so the tying runs on base. Next pitch, foul back to the screen. Remains 2-2.
That's a good pitch there. Change up, 2 strikes. It's going to make your next pitch look faster if you go to something that's hard, or you can almost double up on that changeup but go lower in the zone. You have a hitter in swing mode with 2 strikes here.
2-2, and that's down in the dirt. Runners will hold. Full count now at 3-2 to Sydney Stewart. She walked and scored, came home on a pass ball her first time up. There's a bouncer right back to the circle. Easy throw to first and the inning over. Mike, thank you for your continued contributions to the game. Great to see you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Take care.
Right. We played 2 here at Hillenbrand Stadium in Tucson. 5-3 favor of Oklahoma. In fact, 4 of the last 5 have gone to the Sooners.
Just incredible to have these 2 programs week 1, and then, you know, talking to Coach, you can just feel the respect that he has for Patty and what she's been able to do with Oklahoma. It's just so cool to have, you know, the 2 GOATs in the same building at the same time.
Sydney Barker leading off the 3rd for the Sooners. And she takes ball 2. It's 2-0. Barker struck out to end the first inning. 5-3, Oklahoma on top. Game 1 of 3 between these 2 programs. Next pitch, bounced to third and bobbled and dropped out there by Sniffen. And so Barker will reach to lead off the 3rd inning.
I think they're going to say dead ball.
Okay, thank you.
It came off of her foot.
All right.
I think that's my guess. Umpire crew is on it pretty quick, our third base umpire.
So now the 2-1, and that's bounced into the Arizona dugout down the third base line.
Look alive. I don't know how that ball found its way in there.
They've got that netting, of course, to protect the players, but there is a gap there because you've got to get in and out of the dugout. So if you hit it just right. 2-2 the count on Sydney Barker. And a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. The 8th hit of the day for Oklahoma.
It's just a 2-2 count, curveball. A little bit up, definitely off, but this is just where Oklahoma is so dangerous. They can hit a ball that's a ball off the plate, 2 balls off. And it's not the hardest hit that Sydney Barker will have, but it's solid. And they're right up the middle.
Gabby Garcia to the plate for the Sooners. She homered last inning, leadoff home run. Third of 4 home runs hit by Oklahoma so far today. Well, Barker at first, nobody out. Pitch foul back to the screen. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, both these teams, if you look back at a season ago, very fast starting teams. Oklahoma's best inning offensively last year was the 3rd inning. Arizona's best inning last season was the 2nd inning. And so we've had plenty of fireworks already, which kind of makes sense, I guess, the way these teams have swung the bat of late.
Now, 3rd inning makes a little bit more sense to me because typically that's when you're starting to turn your lineup around. 2nd time through, adjustments are starting to be made. 2nd inning's a little bit interesting to me because that could be the bottom half of your lineup doing a little something.
Another one fouled off by Gabby Garcia. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Garcia, 58 RBI last year. Sydney Barker at first, and the pitch. And bounced off the screen, back of the plate again, and everybody has to kind of duck their heads there. That ball comes back near the infield.
I wanted to ask Coach Candrea, and I forgot to ask him about Gabby Garcia's mom because you were talking about how she was an All-American, and he was coming into the booth at that time, and I could kind of see him out of the corner of my eye nodding his head as if he remembered who Gabby's mom was. Of course, the man has been coaching for quite some time.
Another one off the screen. Of course, Sydney Stewart, the Wildcats catcher, she knows this field well, so she makes the catch off the screen. It won't count as an out, but
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a cool homecoming moment for Gabby Garcia to have this whole weekend be in her home state.
2-2 pitch is in the dirt, bounces away from Stewart and headed down to second. Will go Sydney Barker.
I like the idea there from Jalen in the circle, trying to show a little off speed. Really haven't seen that pitch from her in her arsenal here in her outing against Oklahoma.
Runner at second, nobody out. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. That'll be the 4th strikeout now for Arizona pitching today. And the 2nd for Jalen Adams, so 1 out.
This is why it's so important to just at least show a changeup because your next pitch looks that much harder. And that's her go-to pitch, that backdoor curve that is set up by even a changeup. Yes, it got away from Stewart behind the plate, but it's something to show.
That's a Parker to the plate. And there's strike 1. Shadows starting to creep now into the infield. Be a tough sun here for the left side shortstop, left field. Next pitch inside, good stop there by Stewart. One away. It's a 5-3 Oklahoma lead. Swing and a miss. Well, we haven't had a clean inning yet for either side. Oklahoma 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second. Arizona 2 in the first, 1 in the second. Now we're in the top of the 3rd. 1-2, missed up high. Even up 2-2.
It's a great take by Parker, the freshman.
She homered her first of her career. That was last inning. 2-2 to the plate, bounced off. Well, the Sooners are going to do some traveling, but again, this is nothing new for teams out of the Midwest, upper Midwest, East. Come out to Arizona, California, Texas, New Mexico, Florida. Get games in early. Well, the weather's great. Pitch here is hit out of play down the left field line.
Adams is really working her arm side in tight to Parker. Remember, Parker hit that home run like you were talking about. That was the first batter that Jalen Adams came into face, and it was on a curveball on the outer half So you can tell that the adjustments are being made here. See if she tries to get her to swing away outside or stays in.
Here's the 2-2, just outside. Hometown fans didn't like the call. Count will go full at 3-2.
Well, this has been consistent all game, and so that's always the thing for me. My zone is very big. I've said that many a times. I'm a pitcher. I'm up here calling it a strike, but it wasn't a strike for Parker in the circle earlier when she was throwing that curve on the outside part of the plate either.
She slaps one. Foul left side, so it remains full now at 3-2. Runner at second with one away. Adams delivers. Well, outside, ball 4.
What an at-bat. Saw so many pitches from Jalen Adams. Really, everything that she had, she threw at Alyssa Parker right there. And that is a freshman who already has a home run in this game. These are her first collegiate at-bats. That was a veteran-looking at-bat.
So we'll get a break here and visit to the circle. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Oklahoma, Arizona, game 1 of 3 this weekend at the Hillenbrand Classic here in Tucson, 5-3, favor of the Sooners. Wildcats will stay home here for a couple of weeks. We mentioned Oklahoma, after their 3 games here, head to Las Cruces to play in a tournament hosted by New Mexico State. They'll head back to Norman for a few days and then out to California. And I know that you have been, the Mary Nutter Classic back there in Southern California is one of the best early season events.
I played in the Nutter. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't ever remember opening up, my season at Arizona here at Hillenbrand. We were always on the road, and usually it was in Tempe at the Kajikawa Classic. That's where almost every single, if you were elite, you were going to the Kajikawa.
First pitch, little pop up, back of the circle, nice catch. So that is out number 2.
Look, I have been there as a pitcher. Your heart is going 100 miles an hour here. Is this mine? I'm going outside my circle. Anytime you're going outside of your circle, you just sometimes will feel lost. There's so much going on. You have to know where your infielders are behind you. But I love the fact that she didn't give up on that. That is your ball, drop step, be an athlete, and go get it.
So Adams makes the catch. 2 out now with 2 on. Go to the top of the order now, and Abby Dayton. And she'll take the ball outside. Dayton 1 for 2, ground out in the first. Singled in the second. As I mentioned, this game has had plenty of offense so far. 12 combined hits, 8 combined runs so far. The pitch inside. 2-0 on Dayton. Kendall Wells waiting on deck here. If Dayton can keep the inning alive. Just the way this game has started for either team here to get through an inning without giving up a run would probably feel good. 2-0, foul back, 2-1.
Yeah, you can definitely get some momentum from defense to offense. And if Adams can get out of this like you're talking, would be huge momentum for Arizona offensively.
2 balls and a strike to count. Dayton bats left. It's the righty Jalen Adams, and the 2-1. Called a strike.
It's a great job by Stewart behind the dish there. Watch her frame this up. She gets around that batter's box, and by the time that backdoor curve is curving back in, she's catching it on her right side of the body, framing it so well.
2-2. Pitch outside. We'll count now at 3-2. Adams has been a workhorse at Iowa. Pitched 198 innings last season, 159 her first 2, each of her first 2 seasons with the Hawkeyes. This pitch here is a little liner towards short. Beal makes the catch, inning over, and the first shutout inning of the day for either team. So no runs, 1 hit, 2 left. Well, mid-70s, you're in college, it's Friday afternoon, you're done for the weekend. what better thing to do? Hang out on the roof and watch some softball.
Is that what you were doing when you were in college?
Not on the roof, no.
Okay.
I think it was called Tightwad Hill, you know, where you're outside the stadium up on the hill looking over the fence.
Where did you go to college again?
We're close by.
I was going to
There were
say,
a
that's
lot of
not
hills.
here.
Not here. No.
Amazing.
All right, we go to the bottom of the third. Grace Jenkins will lead it off for Arizona. 5-3 Oklahoma. This team's back here tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and the first pitch is fouled down the left field line for strike one. Jenkins picked up an RBI and a ground out her first time up. Arizona coming off its first year in the Big 12, and boy, had an outstanding start to their new conference. Finished second to Texas Tech. 0-1 up high, and of course, speaking of Texas Tech, Oklahoma got to the College World Series, of course, advanced onto the semifinals and faced the Red Raiders and lost on a walk-off sac fly. That ended Oklahoma's season, and that ended a run of 4 straight national champions.
It was just such an epic game. Think about the dramatics with 2 outs, Abby Dayton hitting the home run off of Nyjah Kennedy.
Line drive, foul down the left field line off the bat of Grace Jenkins, so the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oklahoma last year, they finished 52-9 and picked to finish second this year to Texas in the SEC. The 2-2 here, and that's looped out towards the left, and a nice running catch by Pickering out in left field. And so Jenkins retired.
You think about what Oklahoma did a season ago. It's quote unquote their rebuilding year. Of course, you have to replace that senior class, the greatest senior class that we will ever see in our sport. 4 straight national titles. And what do they do in their rebuild year? They're SEC champions. They're SEC tournament champions, of course, co-tournament champions with Texas A&M. And then you make it to the Final Four of our sport in the Women's College World Series, and you're a couple of outs away from getting back to that national championship. And so all of that experience that this young team a season ago is back. They know what's ahead. They're hungry. And you're just a year wiser, a year more experienced.
Fly ball to left, and there to make the catch, Pickering. So she's made the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Jenna Sniffen will come to the plate for Arizona. 2-run Sooner lead. Sniffen grounded out to end the first inning. So after a very busy first and second, pitching is taken over here in the third. Jalen Adams blanked the Sooners. And now Alyssa Parker here has a chance to do the same to the Wildcats in the bottom of the third.
I was just thinking that this game feels like it's been going on for so long, and we're only in the third inning. Looked up to that scoreboard, and I was like, oh, I am humbled. We are only in the third here. Goodness.
0-2 the count on Jenna Sniffen. Pitch, ground ball right side. And that'll do it. 1-2-3. Go the Wildcats. So we played 3 innings here at Hillenbrand. Oklahoma leading it 5-3.
Wildcat fans, it's softball season and tickets are on sale.
Teams tomorrow, 5 o'clock is first pitch, or just after, here at Hillenbrand Stadium in Tucson. Then Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain time to wrap it up. We go to the 4th inning here today. Kendall Wells will lead it off for the Sooners. Ella Parker to follow. 5 runs, 8 hits for Oklahoma. 3 runs, 4 hits for Arizona. Wells with a single and a fly ball out today, facing Jalen Adams. And the first pitch hit down the left field line, but curving foul for strike 1. So Wells today 1 for 2. Single and scored in the first, fly ball out in the second. Next offering is up high.
Looking at a little bit of an off speed that Adams continues to mix in, just has been having a little bit of trouble with the location. But to me, you have to continue to just try and show it if you can.
Another one fouled off. Let's see how this inning goes here, Kenzie, because we had a lot of offensive fireworks in the first 2 innings. Then the pitching is kind of settled in now, and neither team scored in the third. So now we get to the fourth, and you kind of get the impression when you see the pitchers right now that they're feeling more comfortable, and and see if they kind of take over this game.
Yeah, you can kind of feel when a game settles in. I always say that that's a big pop-up. Wow.
Sure is. Shockey from center field over to make the catch, and there's one away.
I always say that the hardest 2 innings as a pitcher are your first inning and your last inning, and that's just because purely of the adrenaline that you have in those 2 innings. And the middle part of a game, you can kind of settle in as a pitcher, take a breath, you feel the pace of things. Pitching is so much about rhythm.
One out here in the fourth. Ella Parker to the plate for Oklahoma. She's 1 for 2 today. Struck out in the first, singled in the second. And the first offering from Adams misses for ball 1. Parker has some pretty good athletic blood in her family. Her uncle is Dave Roberts. If you're a baseball fan, you probably know that name. He played ball at UCLA and now manages a major league team in Los Angeles, which is a pretty good major league team.
I have heard they're good.
Yeah.
Yep. One could say they're the Oklahoma softball of MLB.
Right now, that's for sure. Ball 3 outside, 3-0 now on Ella Parker. She went to Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. Bats left. 3-0 from Adams. Strike. Well, Parker thinks it's ball 4. She tossed the bat, headed to first base. Has to be called back. So it goes to 3-1 now. There is ball 4. So the Wildcats have walked 3. I should say Adams has now walked 3 today. And if you look back at her career last year and really the year before that at Iowa, that's one thing I think that Caitlin Lowe has probably talked to her about, and they've been working on. Your coaches say it all the time as McEnroe Morenis fouls off the first pitch, and that is throw strikes, because last year at Iowa she walked 59 batters last season. Made a big jump from her sophomore season. Pitch, hitter. So 2-1 now with 1 out.
I was just looking down previous to that pitch, and Sarah Wright for Arizona was warming up in the bullpen for the Wildcats. We still have not seen her or Riley Holder, the true freshman for Arizona. It's a smaller staff this year for Caitlin Lowe. A season ago, it was a staff that had 8 pitchers, and graduate your 2 aces with Devin Netz and Miranda Stoddard, who really carried the load for the Wildcats. And so flash forward to now 2026, that staff is cut in half down to 4, with a lot of those faces being new.
First pitch, ball 1 to Cassidy Pickering. 2 on, 1 out here in the fourth. Oklahoma leading by 2. Pickering home run and a strikeout today. Adams delivers up high. Ella Parker, 1 out walk. She's now at second base. Here's the 1-1. Fouled at the plate. And the count will go to 1-2. McEnroe Marinas at first. She reaches hit by pitch. Last inning, Sooners had a couple on, and Adams was able to get through that unscathed. 1-2 to the plate, lined up the middle for a base hit. Parker's going to be waved around third. The throw not in time. And Oklahoma now adds a 6th run. It's 6-3, favor the Sooners. Pickering with 2 RBI today. The solo home run in the first. Now a single here in the 4th.
Just that pitch location, it was up and Pickering was able to get to it. And then this ball, I don't know if it should have been cut. I think if you have a chance at home plate, you let it go all the way through. Maybe it was a call from the Arizona catcher, Sydney Stewart, to cut that ball. She has a better look at it coming in than we do up here in the booth. It might have been dying down. But just timing-wise, you feel like that ball had to go all the way through without a cut.
Sydney Barker at the plate for Oklahoma and takes a strike from Jalen Adams. 9 hits now for the Sooners. 2 on, 1 out. That one misses for ball. It's 1-1. Barker came off the bench last night up in Tempe. Had a walk and a strikeout in that game. Starting at first base today for the Sooners. And takes the pitch up high, 2-1. Well, 8 of the 9 hitters for Oklahoma today have a hit. And that tells you what you talked about at the outset, Kenzie, how powerful this team is on the offensive end. Which misses low and away, 3-1.
Yeah, this team is still incredibly young. You think about Parker, a freshman, and then, of course, Barker, a sophomore in this lineup. And a player like Sydney Barker, who had so much experience a season ago, played a lot of different positions as a freshman. And then there is so much work that goes into your fall of your sophomore year. After you know what's ahead, you know what the expectations are, you know how the program flows, and then you can kind of quickly identify what your weaknesses are, what you need to train harder at. You come into that sophomore season ready to go.
3-1 the count on Sydney Barker with 2 on and 1 out. And the pitch from Adams popped up right side. Trice going to make the call on the outfield grass in the catch. And there's 2 down.
It's a much needed out for Jalen Adams in the circle. It's been in that ball upstairs. Haven't seen any movement down in the zone. Everything from Adams has been with that upspin, and so a lot of balls in the air.
Here's Gabby Garcia. Home run and a strikeout today. Jalen Adams delivers. Outside. Oklahoma with a 6-3 lead. Got started early, a couple home runs in the first inning, 2 more in the second. Which fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gabby Garcia, the Chandler, Arizona native. Who burst onto the scene last year as a freshman, hit .351, 20 home runs, 58 runs batted in. She hits one to the shortstop, Beal, who makes the catch. We're out number 3. Inning over. Sooners pick up a run. They lead it 6-3. Well, both these teams got off to a good start in the season. Yesterday and last night, Arizona swept a doubleheader from Southern Utah, and Oklahoma beat Arizona State up in Tempe. Today, first of 3 between these 2 historic programs. Oklahoma right now with a 6-3 lead. Bottom 3 in the Arizona order here in the 4th. And Kez Lucas will lead it off. One of the newcomers for the Wildcats, freshman out of Honolulu. Looking for her first hit as a Wildcat.
I know Caitlin Lowe is really excited about the talent that Lucas brings from Hawaii, and this is a player that is coming off an ACL tear, tore her ACL in high school, and really had to sit out the entire fall. Just got cleared right before the season started. And so talking about all of the development that goes into that fall season for these young players, Kez Lucas did not have that. She was just only able to watch and learn and listen. So it just says so much to her talent that even though she didn't have all of those reps that maybe her teammates did, she gets the call in the starting lineup. It's, she's a talented young hitter.
Started her first game yesterday in the first game of the doubleheader, and then pinch hit in the second game. And at first base today here for Arizona, and she'll slap one foul down the left field line to make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Emma Kavanaugh on deck for Arizona. Addison Duke to follow here in the bottom of the 4th. Parker's pitch, and that's hit in the air to left, and back on that one to make the catch is Pickering, and there's one away. All right, I don't want to make too much of it because I know we have folks tuning in from elsewhere around the country, but it was 77 degrees at first pitch today, and it is as nice a day as you could ask. No wind at all, and this is our high season, and we're going to take advantage of it. Okay?
No, I am in actual softball heaven right now. I mean, full crowd. It's perfect weather. I'm getting to call a game with Brian Jeffries. Like, let's go.
Well, I appreciate you teaching me softball. Kavanaugh fouls one off.
I don't want to age you too much, but you were probably calling games here at Hillenbrand when I was maybe 8 years old. Does that sound about right now?
I don't want to even guess. I'll tell you this. This press box did not exist.
Didn't look like this?
Did not look like this.
All right.
We actually sat in the top of the stands doing radio. And I remember the people in front of us always wanted to stand up when there was a big play, and I had to keep telling them to sit down. We have to see the field. So as Mike Candrea talked about, I mean, major change. We were already on this side where we're currently located.
Right.
And as Mike was talking about, home plate was actually basically where center field is right now when he got started. And so, of course, Rita, as it's affectionately known, now one of the best facilities in the country.
And it's so funny because when I was growing up, this stadium that you're talking about where you're having to kind of sit in that tin can of a booth is what it was, but that was the stadium. Everyone was looking to Arizona softball in the 90s and in the 2000s of how big of a stadium it was, and they had outfield bleachers. That was a thing in itself. So, that was all I knew when I was growing up. I was just so lucky that I thought that softball was like that everywhere. And then, of course, I grow up and I'm like, oh, no, it really isn't like that everywhere. I was just lucky to grow up in Tucson when I did.
Kavanaugh fouls off a pitch to stay alive here at 3-2. Well, this might be my only softball game of the season. I'll let you know, but it's been a while.
I'm gonna get you back out here.
I'm gonna go back a ways since the last one. A little pop up left side. Back on that, the shortstop Garcia to make a nice catch. Route number 2.
You also have a pretty big game to call tomorrow.
Yeah,
right,
the other team from Oklahoma.
There you go.
The Cowboys are in town to play basketball next door here at a sold-out McHale Center, and looking forward to that. And then we get to go to Lawrence, Kansas on Monday night.
Ooh.
So.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting time. I mean, when you look at everything going on. In fact, gymnastics tonight, Arizona and Utah, 2 of the top programs in the West over here at McHale Center. Swimming today. Pitch hit down the left field line, curving foul, and that will fall untouched.
I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the control room in McHale and all of our camera crew. They will be pulling a doubleheader, but not for softball. Doubleheader for softball and then gymnastics. Same crew will be broadcasting that game, or excuse me, meet, not a game. That's pretty cool what they're doing right now in McHale with the in-house broadcasting.
Yeah. Well, as things continue to evolve, it wasn't that many years ago that you couldn't watch every game every season, and now, of course, with the advent of ESPN Plus and all the production facilities from coast to coast, fans get a chance to watch their teams wherever they're at.
I'm just so envious of all the young softball girls that have that access. I would have just done anything to have access at home to watch softball like you can now.
Pitch to Addison Duke is fouled off. Remains 2-2.
If I wanted to watch Jenny Finch pitch, I had to be here at Hillenbrand in my parents' season tickets to watch her. I couldn't watch her on TV, and so it just speaks to the growth of our game and what ESPN's been able to do with broadcasting any single game you want to watch. You can find it.
Another looper foul down the left field line, so it remains 2-2 now on Addison Duke, batting 9th in the Arizona order. Base is empty with 2 down. It's a 6-3 Oklahoma lead. Busy first couple of innings, and pitching has kind of put the brakes on things here. Next one up high, full count now on Addison Duke. Reached on to fielder's choice her first time up, later scored. Addison, sophomore, at a Yuma transfer from Ole Miss, and takes ball 4.
I have been really impressed with Addison Duke so far this opening weekend, if you will. She had great at-bats yesterday in both games, batting in that 9-hole, and then came around to score in the second for Arizona. She's just proving herself to be a little bit of a spark with kind of a veteran presence. I know she's just a sophomore, but a transfer from Ole Miss who has World Series experience, and of course came to Hillenbrand a season ago. So good look so far of what she could provide for Caitlin Lowe down in that 9 spot.
Well, you take a look. Well, here's Reagan Shockey at the plate. Takes ball 1 up high. So in not quite 3 games yet, Addison Duke at the plate has 4 hits in 5 official at-bats. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, she continues just to get on base.
Next one here to Shockey, misses. Well, yeah, yesterday, she picked up a walk in game 1, then doubled, stole a base in game 2. Today, fielder's choice, scores a run. Now picks up a walk on a 3-2 pitch. And we'll get a visit to the circle as the count goes to 2-0 now on Reagan Shockey. Serenity Trice on deck for Arizona. These 2 teams both ranked in the, preseason top 25 poll. USA Today has Oklahoma number 3 behind Texas and Texas Tech. Arizona number 17. Of course, Texas Tech favored to win the Big 12 this year. And we mentioned earlier that Texas favored to win the SEC. Arizona has a very tough schedule this season. And the reason I say that is that if you look at the preseason poll, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Iowa State are 1, 2, 3 in the preseason poll, and Arizona plays all 3 of those teams on the road this year.
Yeah, there's going to be some big storylines, of course, in the SEC. I also think Texas A&M will be a team to talk about. It's a lot of youth in the SEC this year, but also at the same time, I think some of the best pitchers in our sport. You'll see Carlin Pickens.
Shockey chops one to the right side. Easy tag there on Duke, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 left. So we've played 4 innings here at Hillenbrand Stadium in Tucson, Oklahoma, with the lead 6-3. All right, 4 innings complete here at Hillenbrand Stadium in Tucson. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Oklahoma, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Arizona. Pitching wise for the Wildcats, Jalen Adams will remain on. She's thrown 3 innings now. Has allowed 2 runs on 5 hits. Janae Berry was first in the circle, and she gave up 4 runs on 4 hits. And Adams here will face numbers 8, 9, and 1 in the Oklahoma lineup. And that'll start out with Alyssa Parker. Not only in the circle today for Oklahoma, but has a home run and a walk. As they say, helping out her own cause. We did see Kirsten Deal very briefly in the circle through just 4 pitches earlier. And Parker at the plate here face Jalen Adams, and time called. Before that, Sydney Stewart wants to check. I wonder if the pitch comm. She looked into the dugout there just to double check. So now ready to go. Adams deals for a strike. And, you know, despite the fact that, you know, the Sooners got a run last inning, you know, Jalen just looks a lot more comfortable now the last two.
That's a great spot for her. And location is obviously everything, but when you're going to combine your spin, especially when you're throwing a backdoor, breaking it up a little bit, going up in the zone, you cannot miss when you're throwing up in the zone, especially to a team like Oklahoma. So location is everything. Got to make sure you have it tight in on the hands, make it look deceptive.
The line shot towards center. Nice running catch out there by Shockey. Route number 1.
And on the changeup, goes to it. Brings the off speed, a pitch that maybe she struggled with a little bit in today's outing, but continues to have confidence in it. And there's nothing you can be mad at when you're Alyssa Parker and you hit it like that. It's just right to Reagan Shockey out there in center field.
So 1 away here in the 4th. Check that 5th.
Feels like it should be 7th, but it's all right. It's been a long game.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and date myself, but when I did softball radio some years ago, I think we were usually out of here in about 90 minutes. Things have changed a little bit in that department. Egbenani at the plate, and wanted the only starter without a base hit today for Oklahoma. Lines 1 foul. Now 0-2. Well, you know, just looking back, I was looking back at Jalen Adams and her career at Iowa. She won 25 games last season and was their top pitcher. And you just look at, you know, what she's done. She had 20 complete games last year for the Hawkeyes, 5 shutouts, and so you could see why Caitlin Lowe wanted her here. And I mean, this is just early on. This is just the second game she's pitched in an Arizona uniform. The line towards right, and that is right at Lace Jenkins for the out, and there's 2 down.
We got to talk to Jalen after the doubleheader yesterday, and we asked her, why did you want to come to Arizona? And the first thing that she said was, I wanted to push myself a little bit more in my senior season. And of course, then she talked about the tradition and all of the things that goes into being a pitcher at Arizona. But she really stressed that she wanted to kind of up her game a little bit and see what she's made of her senior season. So it's just a lot of betting on yourself, man. If you're a senior going into your senior season, you put yourself in the portal, you don't know who's going to call your name, and a program like Arizona calls, okay, I'm listening. So just really cool moment for her to have that no-hitter yesterday, and then to see her start to settle in a little bit more against a potent offense that we know Oklahoma is.
Well, the Sooners have shown it today. They've hit 4 home runs on the day, and they've got a 6-3 lead here in the 5th. 2 out, bases empty. Abby Dayton at the plate, and the count's 2-0. Adams will deliver outside. Kendall Wells waiting on deck. Sun no longer a factor for the fielders. Some of the folks in the left field bleachers are still dealing with that as it sets to the west. Lights are on here. There's a strike to Dayton, so the count 3-1. Adams delivers a strike. Boy, just caught that top part of the zone.
That's that backdoor curve, and it's so tough as a left-handed hitter. You think it's going to be away from you. You have to see it so deep. It breaks late, cuts the back corner of the plate.
It's now full count with 2 out. Adams delivers, hit in the air towards right. Stepping back is Jenkins to make the catch. 3 up and 3 down. So Adams continues to look strong, but the Sooners lead it 6-3. First of a 3-game series between Arizona and Oklahoma. Soaking in the desert sun today, tomorrow at 5, and Sunday at 11 Mountain Time to wrap things up. Wildcats will stay here next week, and again the Sooners will head to Las Cruces, playing the New Mexico State tournament over there before they head back to Norman. And for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the 5th inning, started out with Serenity Trice, who, by the way, has had a pretty decent start to her first season in an Arizona uniform. 9 at-bats, 7 hits, including 2 today. And I remember watching her, yesterday, lightning fast, 14 stolen bases at Iowa State last year, and that's just her offense.
It's a huge just bolt of electricity to this Arizona offense. To have her in the lineup was a great leadoff hitter for Iowa State a season ago. So it's kind of funny that you have Iowa and Iowa State transfer both coming in to Arizona. Of course, they played against each other a lot. Serenity and Jalen did. That in-state rivalry, but yeah, it's been really fun to watch her, especially hitting behind Reagan Shockey. A lot of speed, great barrel control, and I think it's just so fun to see a slap hitter playing for Caitlin Lowe. Of course, if you know our sport, you know what kind of player Caitlin Lowe was, and that was her game. It was short game, it was bounce a ball, drive a ball to the gap, but also run like crazy, steal bases, cause havoc on the base paths. And so if anyone knows how to coach a player like Serenity Trice, it's Caitlin Lowe.
Serenity takes a ball from Melissa Parker, and the next pitch right there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Trice Big 12 all-freshman team last year. And by the way, when in game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, she had a couple RBI. That was a career high for her, and she fouls one back to the screen. Been on base twice. Infield single in the first, another single in the second. Arizona down by 3 as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Trice takes it outside.
It's a tough pitch to take there with 2 strikes. You have to be confident that that ball is out of the zone, and that was a close pitch.
So we even up now at 2-2. And Parker delivers, and it's a little roller down towards short. Garcia up, throws to first just in time. And there's 1 away.
I'm loving the changeup that I'm seeing from Alyssa Parker. It's been money. And you can see what it does, just slows a player who has so much speed like Serenity Trice, just slows her down a little bit. Maybe it slows her bat speed down, so which is why you see the ball hit very softly. Just gotta have that pitch at this level.
Sydney Stewart to the plate for Arizona here in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out. And she will take ball 1 outside. Stewart walked and scored in the first, came home on a pass ball, grounded out in the second. Senior from San Jose, California. Started her career at Washington, played there a couple of years, and then, boy, did she make a difference for Arizona offensively last season. Along with her 20 home runs, 68 RBI, drew 48 walks. On base percentage of .542 last year. Takes ball 3 inside, 3-0.
I love that timeout right there from a freshman behind the plate, Kendall Wells, 3-0. Also the freshman in the circle, and Parker. Just a quick timeout. Let's go talk about it. Actually, I think that's Emmerling now coming in. Yeah, that's Isabella Emmerling. No wonder it was a veteran move. The senior knowing exactly when to call a timeout.
Next one to Stewart across first strike. It's 3-1. That's always amazing when you get that visit out to the circle and the pitcher's behind, and then guess what the next pitch is?
Oh yeah, it's coming in.
Another one down low. That's ball 4. And so Stewart will draw a 1-out walk. Grace Jenkins, who bats 4th for Arizona, will come up. have a pinch runner here. Caitlin Lowe is out. Talk to the home plate umpire. And that's Molly Daly, I believe. So she had a chance to get in late in yesterday's games. And Daly running at first. Grace Jenkins to the plate. And the first pitch. This is up high for ball one.
And this feels like a big at-bat from Grace Jenkins, who's been a little bit quiet yesterday and then in today's game as well. Another transfer for Arizona in this lineup.
Next pitch, cross for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Grace Jenkins. Had a double in the second game of the 2 games against Southern Utah yesterday. Takes this pitch high. Count goes to 2-1 now on Grace Jenkins. Oklahoma with a 3-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Daly at first, and the pitch going away. Well, Parker gets behind here again at 3-1. Well, Kenzie, you mentioned big at-bat, maybe big inning here.
Yep.
If Arizona wants to mount a comeback, don't have to get it all at once. Jenkins takes a strike. We'll count now at 3-2.
And that's a pitch that maybe she's looking for something on the inner half, but that's a drivable spot, 1 speed. Now you're at full count.
Pitch, foul. Out of play left side. It remains 3-2 on Grace Jenkins. Taylor Beal out on deck for Arizona. Very busy first 2 innings, and now since we've only had 1 run scored since the bottom of the 2nd. Jenkins hits one high and deep to right field. That may be, and it is, a home run, a 2-run shot to right, and that will close the gap to 1. Well, Kenzie, you thought it was a big at-bat for Grace Jenkins. You were right.
It just felt time. This is a player that comes to Arizona from UConn. She was the Big East Player of the Year last year. And Coach Lowe has been talking about where she wants Grace Jenkins to hit in this lineup. And she wants her hitting that 4 spot, to hit behind Sydney Stewart, protect the All-American from a season ago for Arizona, because she can do that. And a patient at bat, saw a lot of pitches, forced Parker in the circle to get rid of her fast stuff. So she tries the off speed, and Jenkins was just ready and all over it.
Molly Daly scores in front of her, and it's now a 6-5 Oklahoma lead. And the Sooners here may be making a change in the circle, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Well, Grace Jenkins last year at UConn hit 21 home runs and drove in 68. And so, like you said, this is not going to be a surprise if she can hit like that. All right, Chains in the circle. Back in a moment. So Arizona with a 2-run home run by Grace Jenkins now back within a run. Oklahoma will make a change here in the circle and bring in Sydney Berzon.
And this is a arm that I think a lot of us in the softball world have been waiting to see this debut. Sydney Berzon, an All-American, a senior transfer from LSU. We've been talking about the senior transfer for Arizona and Jalen Adams. Well, Oklahoma also has that influx of experience and has a lot of that big game experience. She's going to throw a lot down in the zone, has elite command with her drop ball, throws hard as well. Yeah, just watching her little smile there, take a deep breath. This is the debut for Sydney in the circle for Oklahoma. Pretty cool.
So Berzon will face Taylor Beal. 1 out, base is empty. Cats have scored 2. And they trail it by 1 in the first pitch to Beal. This is up high for ball 1. Beal 0 for 2 today. Jenna Sniffen on deck. Next offering. This is for ball 2. There's on 3 letters at LSU. Had an 18-8 record last year for the Tigers. Delivers a strike, count goes to 2-1. 2.46 earned run average. Beal at the plate from the left side and offers to bunt, misses, called a strike, even up at 2-2.
Berzon has the ability to go upstairs with the rise, can also throw a curve or an off-speed curve, but the majority of her stuff is going to be down in the zone.
Next pitch hit in the air towards left center field. Back is the left fielder to make the catch. And there's 2 out. That's Abby Dayton, who has moved to left field, I believe, although they also have Sydney Barker listed in left. So
yep, Abby, you're right.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And you say you haven't called a softball game in a while. Come on. Come on.
So 2 away, bases empty here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Kind of sniffing at the plate, also 0 for 2 today. And the first pitch from Berzon across for a strike. And we get to the top of the 6th. Numbers 2, 3, and 4 due up for Oklahoma. Pitch popped up right side, and that will do it. 2 runs. Cats back within 1.
We have got ourselves a ball game, folks, here in Tucson. How about the first home run for the senior Grace Jenkins? 2-run shot. Cats just now down 1.
Well, everything you could ask for. A couple of top 25 teams, 16 national championships between the 2 programs, and I know it's the opening weekend, but this is fun. 6-5 Oklahoma as we go to the top of the 6th. Kendall Wells to lead it off for the Sooners. Jalen Adams has really settled in nicely here, Kenzie. She's given up 2 runs, but just 1 of those has scored since the 2nd inning. 5 hits. Walked 3, struck out 2.
In a game like this, you really just want to be the home team. Just kind of feels like that kind of ball game. And
Pitch fouled off by Wells, 1-1.
You hope that Adams doesn't make the fact that Arizona just hit that 2-run home run. Now it's a 1-run ball game, because sometimes that can add a little bit of pressure to your shoulders because you know you have to protect a much smaller margin. Maybe you have to be a little bit more perfect.
1-1 to Wells, hit in the air to right. Back to the wall is Jenkins, there to make the catch. Route number 1. Wells had the game-winning home run last night up at ASU, so you know she's got some pop.
Well, this is the 2nd sky-high pop fly that we've seen from Kendall Wells. My goodness.
Now her 3 outs have been 2 to center and 1 to right, and they've been, we'll call it authoritative outs. So 1 away. And Ella Parker to the plate. Parker 1 for 2. Struck out in the 1st, singled in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th. Sooners by a run here in the top of the 6th. Adams misses outside 2-0. Pitch up high, 3-0.
This is the part of the lineup for me that, man, there's just no room to take a breath. Ella Parker behind her, Nelly McEnroe-Moranis.
There's ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk to Ella Parker. A runner at first now with 1 out. And the aforementioned McEnroe-Moranis to the plate. She has a home run. In fact, she had the first home run of the day for Oklahoma. They've hit 4. It was a 2-run home run in the top of the first. That gave the Sooners a 2-0 lead. They added another run on Cassidy Pickering, who's on deck.
Just also worth mentioning that Ella Parker, last time she walked in the 4th inning, she came around to score. So those free passes, always one of those things that you just can't allow yourself to let them happen in a game like this. But then at the same time, it's who you're pitching to. You know the respect that pitchers have against Ella Parker or a McEnroe Morenas or a Cassidy Pickering. I mean, those are all American type hitters that just come at you one after another.
So big spot here for Jalen Adams, the Arizona pitcher, as again she had kind of really settled in here. That run that you mentioned there, Kenzie, in the 4th inning, the only run Oklahoma has gotten off her since they scored 3 in the first and 2 in the second, and then that 1 run in the 4th. And also keep in mind that Janae Berry gave up 4 of the runs, so Adams has given up just 2. But a big spot here with the number 4 hitter at the plate for Oklahoma. And the first pitch in there for strike 1. McEnroe Morenas, the Hawaii native. First team All SEC last year. The pitch, swing and a foul at the plate, and it's 0-2.
Of course, that home run that Nelly hit was off of the Arizona starter, Janae Berry. Jalen Adams came in for Berry in the 2nd inning. It's been a couple of free passes to McEnroe Morenas. It's been a walk, a hit by pitch.
Next one up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Here in the top of the 6th inning. Oklahoma jumped out with 3-0. Arizona came right back with 2 in the bottom of the first. Pitch fouled off. It was a 5-3 game, favored the Sooners after 2 innings, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this is going to be some fireworks here today. We're going to see a lot of runs, 2 pretty good offenses, and now pitching has been dominant. Adams delivers inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Adams continuing to work on the dominant side, her arm side, the inner half to the right-handed hitters. Will show something away, trying to get a chase with the curve.
Pitch fouled off. And a big spot here for Jalen Adams because you got Cassidy Pickering on deck, who has a home run and a single today. Coming off a All-America season last year at Oklahoma. The 2-2 fouled off right side. Means 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, everybody has stayed. Sunset about to hit here, but they've seen a heck of a ball game so far. 2-2 to the plate, missed inside, full count at 3-2.
It's a great at-bat here. Started behind 0-2. McEnroe Morenas has fought her way back to a full count.
And here's the payoff pitch, grounded foul left side, and it remains 3-2. Ella Parker at first base for Oklahoma. Second payoff pitch coming here from Jalen Adams. And it's again fouled off down the left field line.
Man, camera crew down the line has got to have a glove or something. Those balls are coming your way.
Fans here trying to pick up Jalen Adams. Here comes her third payoff pitch now. And it's hit towards left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Runner will hold at second, so 2 on now with 1 out.
What a gritty at-bat from Nelly McEnroe-Morenas right there. Just fouled off pitch after pitch. Backdoor curve after backdoor curve, and gets enough. You can see she's jammed up right there. She doesn't like it, but she's pumped up. Getting it done. Full count. We're late in the game. It wasn't going to be a huge swing with the full count, but got enough of it. That was just big time.
All right, Kai Miner going to bat here for Oklahoma. Freshman out of Irvine, California. And we'll have a pinch runner at first for the Sooners as well. Is Tia Malloy will come in to run at first. So Malloy at first, Parker at second. 1 away. And Miner to the plate. Went to Orange Lutheran High School. Starting center fielder last night up in Tempe. Went 0 for 3 and struck out twice. So Kai Miner at the plate. Again, Tia Malloy down at first base. Ella Parker at second. 1-run lead for the Sooners. Pitch outside.
Fun opportunity here for Oklahoma fans to watch a rookie have an at-bat in a clutch moment here with 1 out in the 6th.
1-0 from Adams. Called a strike, even up at 1-1. Well, I'll sneak this in just because that you see Tia Malloy down at first base. Or, I'm sorry. Yeah, Tia Malloy at first base. Here's the pitch, and it's lined to the shortstop. Beal makes the catch. Runners scramble back, and there's 2 down. Boy, what a catch.
Yeah, lucky for Oklahoma, the base running held and that there was no chance for Arizona to get out of this inning with a double play. But yeah, Taylor Beal, this is her game. It's what she does at shortstop. Just great reactions, looking for the double play. Tia Malloy diving back to first base.
All right, here's Sydney Barker to the plate with 2 out now and 2 on in a 1-run game, and she fouls the first pitch back. So Tia Malloy, her dad lawyer, is an outstanding football player at the University of Washington, went on to play for the New England Patriots, won a Super Bowl with the Patriots some years ago. Tia grew up in the Seattle area. She's a Seahawks fan.
I also know a Seahawks fan sitting to the left of me.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering who she's rooting for on Sunday.
Oh.
Her dad played for the Patriots, but she's a Seahawks fan.
Oh.
That could be a tough household on Sunday.
Could be a house divided, or maybe it's one of those things where you just cheer no matter what.
Yeah.
Go home a winner either way.
Ball and a strike on Sydney Barker. Jalen Adams delivers. Missed inside. 2-1. Well, if Adams is able to finish this inning off, that catch by Beal, huge. Still work to do here. 2-1 on Barker. Pitch. Oh, he took something off that. Goes to 3-1 now. Barker 1 for 3 at the plate. Struck out in the first, singled in the third, popped out in the fourth. Pitch. Caught that outside corner.
Back-to-back changeups from Adams. It's a pitch that she has not given up on in this game, and that to me is so huge. It tells me that, you know, she's a veteran, a senior, has that right mindset to, even though things aren't working great, don't give up on it.
Payoff pitch, foul left side. Remains 3 balls and 2 strikes on Sydney Barker.
That was 3 changeups in a row. Could she go 4? Really tough to throw that many off-speed pitches in a row as a pitcher.
Another big spot here because you've got Gabby Garcia on deck. 3-2. Bounce foul again, third base side.
That was 4 in a row. I don't think I ever threw 4 changeups in a row. Will we see 5? And you're going to be in your head a little bit as a hitter thinking that was another changeup. Is she going to throw another one? Should I sit something hard?
Having never played the game, I'll say this. If it's working, why not just stick with it?
Well, and I'm sure that's what the conversation is right now with Stewart and Adams. Do you want to go again? Or is there something that we can sneak in, go hard? Because as a hitter, your eyes are a little bit slowed down now. You've seen 4 straight off-speed pitches around 52, 53 miles an hour. And if a pitcher, you kind of recognize that, can I sneak in something that's 65, 66?
Jalen Adams now over 100 pitches on the day.
I would go backdoor curve here. I'm going hard.
3-2, foul back.
That was it. That was it. Great job by Barker to get a piece. The way this pitch starts, it starts at Barker, and then it's going to break over the middle half of the plate, and you have to stay in there as a hitter and just take it and say, that's going to break, I'm going to swing.
Another 3-2. Bounce foul again.
This is fun. This gets me so fired up as a pitcher up here in the booth. Obviously, it's been a while since I've been out there in the circle, but you can just feel the cat and mouse game here with Adams and Barker. A lot of off speeds, back door.
Another payoff pitch. Barker fouls at the right side.
Yeah, she went away. Went curveball away. Haven't seen a drop ball and we haven't seen a rise ball. And you haven't really seen that in her outing today. So if you're Barker at the plate, you're really trying to simplify things, going corner to corner and protect slow. I'm going to look hard and I'm going to adjust to slow. And if I foul it off, fine.
Fans here trying to help out Jalen Adams. Another 3-2 coming to Barker. Here it is. Fouled off again. Three and two out. Jalen Adams trying to keep this a one-run game going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Arizona sending up the bottom 3 in its order. Another 3-2 to Barker. That one line foul left side.
12 pitches in this at bat. This will be the 13th. This is incredible.
Well, you tell me if you agree with the notion that usually advantage to the hitter because they've seen everything now.
Yep.
Several times. Three-two again. Popped up, right side. Trice over on the outfield grass to make the catch. Adams gets out of it and keeps it a one-run game. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. Bottom of the 6th inning coming up in a one-run game. Oklahoma 6, Arizona 5.
To a health matter, and so it is next woman up, and Coach Gasso calling on Carly Keeney to call the pitches and be in the dugout for Oklahoma. And so we just want to, saw that news yesterday online circulating. We want to make sure that we acknowledge that Coach Rocha is not with the Sooner program. If you know our sport, you know that Coach Rocha is the pitching coach. And so that's huge for a pitcher like Sydney Berzon or Miley Wachenio. Not have Coach Rocha in the dugout, but for Carly Keeney to get the call-up, who was a GA a season ago, was, of course, an alum in 2024, was on that national championship team as a pitcher. And, when you're in the system, obviously, there's a lot of trust there for Coach Gasso to call Carly Keeney. And we were talking earlier about the game that Oklahoma had yesterday against Arizona State. And the pitchers, Aubrey Lowry and Miley Wachenio, threw a one-hitter, a complete game one-hitter, that combination of those two. So, of course, Audrey did get the start, and Wachenio came in to finish, but Carly Keeney was the one calling the pitches.
Emma Cavanaugh at the plate for Arizona. One out here as Kes Lucas lined out. Kavanaugh with a hit today in 2 trips. Well, when you're around one of the best, you learn from the best. And so I'm not saying it's just an easy transition, but if you follow that lead, there's ball 4 to Kavanaugh, so she'll go down to first base. It just, it means a lot when you're young in any position like that, and you have a chance to learn from one of the best, and then you just want to carry on. All right, Arizona has the tying run at first base with 1 out. Addison Duke to the plate. Berzon delivers, ground ball to the right side, and fumbled a bit. The throw to first base, not in time. And Arizona will have 2 on here. Should be the second error of the ball game against the Sooners. They score it, but
yeah, a lot of speed from Duke, and there is Addison. We've been talking about her finding ways to get on base. Of course, that's a play that Ilana can make all the time. She's going to know that she wants that one back. That's a Gold Glover at second base. And you can feel the life in Hillenbrand. It's coming. You can hear the crowd. Everyone is starting to get on their feet. Game's getting late here. 1-run ball game.
All right, Duke at first, Kavanaugh at second. Top of the order now, Reagan Shockey. The plate for Arizona. 6-5, Oklahoma with the lead, and the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Berzon delivers, and their first strike. Even up now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Two-0 to the plate, chopped foul left side. Count goes to 2-1.
Reagan Shockey has a lot of tools in her toolbox. In a situation like this with 2 runners on, I'm always curious of what she's going to pull out. Doesn't really ever swing away. I've seen her do it a couple of times, but in a moment like this, she's usually thinking power slap, chop slap.
Next pitch, low and outside. Stopped by Hammerlane, so runners at first and second. Fans here sensing that could be an opportunity here to get this game at least even. Pitch to Shockey, grounded off the glove of the second base, but got to the second base bag in time for out number 2. That will allow Kavanaugh to advance to third base. Duke is out on the play. Shockey at first on a fielder's choice.
This is a closer play than I thought on replay. Saw the Arizona coaching staff talking about it. They will not use a challenge. I think she was still out, but much closer than it looked live.
Well, here's Serenity Trice to the plate. 2 out. Bottom of the 6th inning. Oklahoma leading 6-5. Tying run at third base. Trice with 2 hits on the day, 2 for 3, and now we'll get a timeout called by Oklahoma and a visit to the circle. So this, we talk about opportunities and the way Trice has hit the ball here in the first 3 games of her Arizona career.
If you're Arizona coaching staff, you want Serenity Trice at the plate right now. Of course, Grace Jenkins was the hitter that hit that 2-run home run in the 5th inning, but Serenity Trice has been putting bat to ball and just making things happen. Sydney Stewart, who has 2 walks on the day on deck. And so Oklahoma defensively, you see Patty Gasso out there with Carly Keeney, who's talking to the senior in the circle, Sydney Berzon, to make sure that everyone's on the same page. What are we throwing this lefty? What's her game? It's short game. Where do we want to be positioned? Is the easier out maybe at second base? Should we feed Serenity Trice to the left side of the infield and just get the easier play, maybe allowing the infield to be a little bit more set defensively. Outfield is crunched in a little tight. It is wide open, right down the right field line.
Kavanaugh, the tying run at third. Trice takes the pitch high, and it's 2-0.
And also, it's a first and third situation with Reagan Shockey. So much speed at first base. You want to make sure that you're executing defensively. It is opening weekend, and you practice those first and thirds all the time in practice, but there's nothing like a situation like this when it gets a little tense.
2-0 to the plate. Missed low. 3-0. Reagan Shockey at first. Emma Kavanaugh at third. Serenity Trice at the plate. 7 hits in her first 3 games as a Wildcat. Here comes the pitch. Missed low, ball 4, and that will load the bases. So now Sydney Stewart to the plate. 6-5 Oklahoma, and we'll see if they have a change here in the circle. Time is called. Razan came in the 5th, retired 2 batters. Here in the 6th, Kez Lewis lined out to lead off. Then the walk to Kavanaugh. Duke reaches. Shockey fielder's choice. Now Trice draws the walk.
Looks like Miley Wachenio coming in. A couple of transfers, couple of SEC transfers new to the Oklahoma program this season. Sydney Brazan coming from LSU. Miley coming from Ole Miss. You could kind of feel this pitching change coming. I didn't think that last ball to Serenity Trice was off the plate at all. I personally thought it was a strike, but it was called ball 4. But a couple of pitches prior, Brazan was just missing too much around the zone. And this could also just be a matchup thing. Talk about what Miley Wachenio throws, and she's going to go upstairs. She has good velo, but it is all about one pitch, and that pitch is a rise ball.
Wachenio, sophomore, transfer in from Ole Miss. Grew up in California. Last year, 14-11 with a 365 earned run average at Ole Miss. Struck out 160 and walked 78. So she will face Sydney Stewart with the bases loaded and 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Arizona trailing by a run. Stewart officially 0 for 1 today. She has walked twice and scored both times. She's reached base.
And of course, Arizona fans will remember Miley Wachenio from a season ago when Ole Miss did play here at Hillenbrand in the regionals. And Wachenio had some really big moments in that regionals, and this is another big moment back at Hillenbrand.
There's Stewart to the plate, bases full. First pitch, down low. Ball 1. Stewart base hit in the doubleheader yesterday, went 1 for 4, walked a couple times, so she's picked up 4 walks so far this season. Comes the 1-0 to the plate, outside, ball 2. 2-0 on Sydney Stewart. Grace Jenkins on deck. Kavanaugh the tying run at third. Shockey the go-ahead run at second.
Oh, I think we're going to have an illegal pitch. You could see Smokey Eads, our home plate umpire, motioning to Coach Gasso, saying that Miley Wachenio took the ball out of her glove. She had already presented that ball in her glove and took it apart before she stepped off the mound. So unfortunate. The count now goes to 3-0.
And the pitch, high, ball 4, and this game is tied. Well, yeah, that was a critical error because, as you said, runs the count to 3-0 and then ball 4, and now we are even at 6.
Well, this is just such a heated moment to come into as a pitcher, and you can feel it for Miley in the circle. None of those pitches were close, and that is adrenaline. You're coming in cold. Of course, she pitched last night at Arizona State. They had a great crowd there at Farrington. Man, it's late in the game here. It's tight. The bases are loaded.
Grace Jenkins to the plate. Takes ball 1, and Eugenio here has not come close on some of these pitches. Jenkins homered last inning. Got Arizona back within a run. Now it's tied at 6. There's the 1-0 to the plate. Up high, 2-0.
Yeah, and this crowd is staying on it. That's a good timeout right there. Emmerling, the senior veteran behind the plate, recognizing. Taking a breath, see if that pause allows the crowd to kind of calm down a little bit, hoping that her sophomore in the circle can calm down with it and just get that heart rate back to neutral.
Bases loaded for Arizona. Reagan Shockey at third, the go-ahead run. Serenity Trice at second. Sydney Stewart at first base. Grace Jenkins in the 4-hole for Arizona. She's driven in 3 runs today. Ground out in the first, brought home 1, and then the 2-run home run in the 5th. 2-0 the count. Eugenio delivers. Called a strike, and it's 2-1. Well, we mentioned it before. Jenkins, Big East Player of the Year at UConn last season. 21 home runs, 68 RBI. 2-1 pitch outside, goes to 3-1. Again, nowhere to put her.
Well, Eugenio also has a great off-speed pitch. We haven't seen her go to it. Everything's been hard trying to find that rise ball for a strike.
Big spot here. 3-1. Strike call. Top of the zone. Full count at 3-2.
I love this spot in tight, top of the zone, but that is a strike all day. It just takes so much confidence and guts to throw that pitch. There is little room for error with a left-handed batter in the box.
Well, here we go. 3-2, 2 out, bases loaded. Tie game. Eugenio set, and the pitch. Hit in the air to left, curving into foul territory, and that will land in the Arizona bullpen. Aiden giving chase, but what are they going to call here?
I have to think an illegal pitch.
Well, that would be the second one, and that's going to score a run and give Arizona the lead. Anigasso out to argue. So that call came as we're watching the foul ball go down the left field line. The umpires get together.
Yeah, the call came from our third base umpire, Rob Pentecoff. I didn't see anything live where I caught it, but I did see him right away pointing, ball 4 or whatever it is, kind of motioning the batters to keep moving and for Reagan Shockey to score the run where now Arizona takes the lead.
Wow.
Okay.
So 3 consecutive walks in the book. Shockey in to score, making it a 7-6 Arizona lead. Bases remain loaded now for Taylor Beal. Eugenio delivers in there for strike 1. Again, Trice now at third base. Sydney Stewart at second. Grace Jenkins at first. 2 out. 2 runs in. The pitch down low. 4 walks in the inning. And that has spelled trouble here for Oklahoma. They've seen their lead completely evaporate. Next one hitting near the center field, fairly deep. Way back, it's gone. How about that? Beal clears some. Huge inning, Arizona. Well, the senior, not a prolific home run hitter in her career, but that one, well, as they say, she got all of it.
I am absolutely stunned. What a swing for Taylor Beal. I have not seen her in her entire career with a moment like that offensively. I mean, I've watched a lot of Arizona softball games. If you talk about Taylor Beal, we talk about the glove capability, what she does on defense. And, you know, Brian, we talked about her being moved up to that 5 spot in the game when she's normally down in that 8 hole. And what a swing, what a moment for the senior to come through with the grand slam. Wow.
Patty Gasso out of the dugout. Looks like the Sooners will make another change here. And here's Audrey Lowry, who was the starter last night up in Tempe, and she will come in here to pitch as Arizona has now taken an 11-6 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thanks to Taylor Beal. Grand slam to center. Well, we started out, looked like it was going to be a high-scoring game. Then pitchers took over, and now Arizona's offense here in the 6th.
So Oklahoma makes another pitching change, going to Audrey Lowry. Have not seen her so far in this game. Oklahoma saw her yesterday, got the start, the opening day start against ASU, and pitched so well. The lefty can just flat out spin it.
She's facing Jenna Sniffen now with the bases empty and 2 out. And Sniffen goes around. Count goes to 0-2. Now Lowry last night 5 2/3 up in Tempe, gave up just 1 run on the only hit allowed. Sniffen bounces it to first, and that will end the inning. But Arizona scores 6 runs on 1 hit. That was the grand slam by Beal to straightaway center. And just like that, Arizona now has an 11-6 lead as we go to the 7th. And
yeah, I smell like money. We be blowing hundreds in the drop top with my friends going dummy.
All right, here we go to the top of the 7th inning, and Arizona finds itself ahead. Oklahoma has 1 chance here to try and score at least 5. And what a day so far for Jalen Adams. What a 2 days for Jalen. No hitter in the opener yesterday. And now 5 innings, 6 hits allowed here tonight. Not over yet. Gabby Garcia at the plate for Oklahoma. And the pitch up high.
Well, this is the batter for Jalen Adams. You want to make sure that Oklahoma doesn't sniff a rally, and it is always that leadoff batter. You want to make sure you take care of that leadoff spot.
Garcia checks her swing, called a strike. Count 1 and 2. Garcia homered in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd, lined out in the 4th.
This is her bread and butter. She's been spinning that back door all night, that backdoor curve. Away to the lefties, inside to the righties.
Next one, line to center for a base hit. So Garcia with her 2nd hit of the ball game, the 11th hit today for Oklahoma.
You can see Adams just kind of turning to Stewart behind the plate, recognizing what a great hit that was. That wasn't a bad pitch. Gabby Garcia just went up to get it.
So top of the 7th, runner at first, nobody out. Now time called, no pitch, as Emmerling fouled it off, but time was called before that. And now Eddie Gasso coming to home plate.
I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was an illegal pitch called. I think it was just a timeout that was issued.
Oh, I guess maybe the question is, did the batter announce?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so timeout was called before the pitch came in.
Okay.
So it's a,
yes.
it's a nothing.
So Isabella Emmerling at the plate. And now the first pitch to her, low and inside for ball one. Oklahoma had a 5-2 lead at one point in this game. 1-0 pitch is chopped foul. Well, it goes 1-1. It was then 5-3 after 2 innings, and we were settled in here for a high-scoring game. Then the third, fourth, pitchers kind of took over. Bottom of the fifth, Arizona got a couple of runs on the 2-run home run by Grace Jenkins to get right back into the ball game. It's fouled off right side. 1-2 on Emmerling. And then the sixth, and all you have to do, I think, one thing to look at for Oklahoma is, again, Sooners have 11 hits today, but they've left 9 on base. Also committed a couple of errors. Pitch popped up left side. Beal will make the call and the catch. And there's one down.
It has not been a pretty game for either team. This has been a gritty outing on both sides. We talked about it earlier in this game, but I'll say it again. Both of these coaches want experiences like this. They want to test their team, check in with some players. What are you made of in this moment? How are you going to handle this adversity?
Ground ball. Beal scoops it up, goes to second for one. Throw to first base is in time. Double play, and this game is over. 6-4-3, and Arizona comes from behind to beat Oklahoma today, 11-6 in the first of this 3-game series. And even though, Kenzie, kind of to follow up on your point, even though both these teams played yesterday, you knew this game had big game implications coming in, and the players played like it.
They were going to bring it. And how about Taylor Beal, the senior? Have yourself a 7th inning. The grand slam in the top of the 7th, and then take it yourself. One of the best shortstops in the game turns a double play herself, and Jalen Adams, you can't say enough about her performance. Like I said, it wasn't pretty, but it was gritty. And this is a huge win for Arizona. Of course, you know the resume that a program like Oklahoma has and what they will continue to do this season. So just securing one win, of course,